Hello there. Yeah, I literally have not uploaded in 11 months because I pretty much have been procrastinating. But anyways, this time I joined the GMTK 2023 48-hour game jam along with fellow artist Halfleaf and fellow musician Will. And so, jam starts in 1 minute and 8 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yep. That looks sick.
Okay. 21 seconds.
Don't play without me. Try to fix something.
I didn't know how to get to the thing.
Okay, it wasn't loading for me for a sec.
Hi everyone, the 7th annual GMTK Game Jam begins right now. Your goal over the next 48 hours is to make a game that fits the following theme.
Okay.
So let us take on a
Roles
role
reversed.
that we don't normally get to play. Maybe that's Tetris, but instead of moving the blocks, you move the whole level. Maybe that's Pong, but you play as the ball. Get creative, think outside the box, and surprise us. Anyway, I better let you get started. Best of luck, have fun, and I'll see you when the results are in.
All right.
So yeah, that interpretation of that theme would basically just be taking an existing game and trying to reverse those roles. Anyone got any ideas?
Cooking. Like it's like a cooking show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the chef and the cameraman reverse roles. I don't know. I'm literally I just thought that up.
I like that idea of like you have to do something, but you have no experience with it.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
like for the cooking show one, like it could just be like you're not given a recipe, you're just given like what the final dish is, and you have to figure out how to make it, or something like that, because you don't have the
Yeah, it could be like
chef
one of those,
knowledge to know how to make it, or something like that.
Like one of those funny, just like
Yeah.
random games like that.
Yeah. We'd have to think about how to turn that into actual like, or if we want to turn that into like strategic gameplay.
What if it's like a tower defense game where
Oh,
you
that-
send the guy? Like you're the
You have to defend against enemies, but when a horde comes in, you have to find a way to destroy your towers. Does that make sense? I don't know.
That's interesting. So there's like, I could think of like two ways to do that. Either you're placing buildings in like the optimal way to get destroyed by a horde of enemies. So like you're trying to destroy your own base or something like that. Or you could have it as like you're sending in a bunch of enemies with the goal to destroy it. I guess like
Yeah,
you could
or,
either
like-
be in control of the buildings or the enemies, but either way your goal is to have as much destruction as possible.
Or it could be like there's like an AI kind of that places towers. I don't know what AI is the right way to say it, but like towers get generated over time and you somehow get money to buy enemies, you know, so you could buy like a bunch of small ones or one big one.
Play like as an NPC. You're this like a innkeeper or something, and there's a whole bunch of heroes coming through your town, and you have to figure out what quest they're supposed to be on and give them proper directions or something like that.
That'd be cool actually.
You have a character that is playing a video game. Inside that video game, there's another character that plays the character outside of that video game.
It could be a thing of like the person playing the game sends a bunch of inputs to you, the character, and then like you either execute them or don't.
Oh,
Again,
wait,
it's not
wait.
really a full gameplay thing, but like that could be the interaction between the two. It's like just a series of inputs
Yeah.
that you maybe have to carry out. I definitely like the tower defense idea. It's not as high concept, but it you know,
It's
it's
simple.
reverse roles, and it'll be simple.
Yeah, it'll get the job done.
Seems like it works pretty well.
So yeah, the theme was roles reversed, and we had slight difficulty forming an idea around it. We found that a reverse tower defense game would be best. Yeah, we're going to do a
Yeah,
tower
I
defense
think that's
game.
the move.
Okay, so I'm gonna do art, I guess. Have you ever made a tower defense game before?
No, I have not. Is it gonna be like grid based?
I think so.
That's probably the best way to go about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get it moving then.
So my first task was to make the grid-based building mechanic. I used placeholder art to depict towers being placed. The whole process actually went pretty smoothly. There we go. Halfleaf eventually added art to the game, in which I integrated them into their respective buttons. The next step was adding enemy pathfinding, which I totally did not copy from one of my older projects. Yeah, totally.
How's it going?
It's going good. Yeah, the pathfinding's done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just took a minute. I didn't do the health system. I think I lost Wi-Fi connection. Oh my freaking god.
Here, I gotta go and do more stuff right now. See you in a little
Yeah.
bit.
I swear to god. Keeps doing this. Why is my Wi-Fi like this? I have freaking Ethernet and a Wi-Fi antenna. So yeah, my Wi-Fi went out during the process of making the health system. Spectrum go fuck. And then I started working on the spikes. Wait, what the hell happened? There we go. And so, Will developed 2 soundtracks for setting up your defenses and for battle. The next beautiful step was to make the towers destructible, because that makes it so you can't just block enemies. I had now started work on the projectile towers. Yeah, everything is fine. Everything is fine. Now, I worked on the 3rd tower, which are tower boosters that boost tower stats within a range. The 2nd enemy type I worked on are wizards that shoot projectiles. I then began working on the enemy boosters. The next thing to do was to develop the horde system, since, you know, to make it an actual game. I then added a budget system for enemy and tower spawning. For enemies, they're called soul points, and you obtain them by killing monsters. I checked up on Will for these sound effects. He created a tower placing sound effect for the game. Or pitch, maybe? Even checked up on Halfleaf to see what he was doing. He made the menu and started implementing the tutorial scene. Well, that's nice. Yeah, I also forgot that I was going to work on the waves. Implement the progression system. I forgot about that. When making the wave system, this was the first and only attempt. Maybe only 2? 3? Oh god. How about 4? Holy shit! So anyways, I got it working. Next, I added more GUI, and Halfleaf implemented the particle explosion effect for the castle. Since the jam submission window was about to end at 12 PM tomorrow, I decided to not sleep and pull an all-nighter. But seriously, I do not recommend it. It was literally 3 AM and I still kept working. So I quickly added a couple of fixes to the horde constructor and added cursors corresponding to the enemy type. I began adding statistics, ignore the errors. I also added a border to the text. I even repositioned it to the top, but instead I repositioned it to the center and made the border black. And of course, this should also work with towers. Next up, I displayed the current usage in relation to the budget. And Jesus, that's a lot of scripts that I've written. Anyways, I added conditionals for the lose screen. I then worked on the conditionals for the win screen. Win. But right now, an enemy spawns out of thin air, so I reposition the spawners outside the camera's view. And yeah, it was really close to the end of the jam, so I had to adjust the main menu. Well, anyways, that worked. And since the enemy spawning looks boring, I randomized their positions. Finally, we submitted the game 11 minutes before the deadline. We had so many issues with the exporting process. Turns out it was our collaboration tool, Classic SCM, that was the culprit. I couldn't fix the issue in time, so instead, Halfleaf decided to be an absolute chad and was the one who submitted the game on time. Anyways, here's the gameplay for totally normal tower defense. So yeah, overall, we got 27th place out of 7,000 entries out there. I'd like to thank Will and Halfleaf for making the art and music. Anyways, subscribe and like this video. Wait, how do I end this video? No, I'm just gonna walk away.